A 7-seater SUV, turbocharged engine, 250 newton meters of torque. Sounds like it's ready for a drag race with a diesel Fortuner, right? Nope. The Mitsubishi Destinator takes a quieter route. Smooth, steady, and oddly obedient. It runs a 1.5-liter MIVEC turbo engine, pushing out around 161 horsepower, on par with many crossovers swarming Manila traffic, but with space for 7. Paired with the CVT gearbox, there's zero gear kick, and to be honest, zero feeling of gear shifting at all. Here's the twist. Press the pedal and there's no jerk, no roar. It's as smooth as a shampoo commercial. But the real question is, smooth because it's refined or because the engine's still thinking about it? If you've ever driven the Expander AT and floored it, then take that memory and multiply by 1.2. That's how Destinator responds to throttle. But fair's fair, it's smooth. In city traffic, your spouse won't complain. On the freeway, the kids won't puke, and the driver won't lose it. With a curb weight around 1.5 tons and 7 seats, 250 newton meters is just enough to cruise, not to start a fight. The fun part? Mitsubishi doesn't even call it powerful. They call it dynamic performance for daily use, which basically translates to enough to go to work, pick up your kids, and not drag race anyone. In a way, the car knows you better than you do. It understands you're stepping on the gas, not because you're a thrill seeker, but because you're trying to beat preschool closing time. And for those who watched the last Carcry video, yes, the production model is identical to the display version. Still turbo, still CVT, no shocking last-minute cut turbo for Asia move. So really, this is a car for those who want to boost their life without boosting their blood pressure every time they pass a truck. And hey, if someone in your family asks, is this car powerful? Just send them this and say, not powerful, but polite.
The Destinator proudly shows off its 244mm ground clearance, enough to make you want to drive straight into the meanest curb in your neighborhood. But crouch down and take a look, and there's a slightly awkward detail. This SUV only powers the front wheels. Yep, a high-riding, rugged-looking SUV that sends power only to the front. That's like wearing hiking boots, but flip-flops on the back foot. You'll be okay for the first few steps, then start slipping. Mitsubishi calls it a new platform, unibody frame, sharing its DNA with the Expander. But while the Expander is an MPV, the Destinator dresses up like an SUV, straps on a belt like the Triton, but still has a front-wheel drive heart. Picture this. You're on a scenic trip through Mount Pulag. Rain's pouring, the trail's slick, you shift into gravel mode with confidence and begin to gently slide into a ditch. Why? Because the rear wheels are just spectators. Gravel adds vibes, not traction. Even Mitsubishi doesn't pretend otherwise. You get 5 drive modes: normal, wet, gravel, mud, snow. But let's be honest, without AWD, those are just dashboard light shows. Actual impact? Sometimes less than a new set of Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. So this is the kind of car for people who look at hills, pose for selfies, and turn around. No real 4WD system here to save the day. But hey, don't be sad. That 244mm clearance is still useful. It can wade through 400mm of water without ruining your socks, and climb curbs to pick up kids without scraping the bumper. Just don't mistake it for a next-gen Pajero Sport, or you'll find out the hard way that it swims using its front tires only. So next time someone says, high ground clearance means good off-road, right? Show them this clip. They'll learn ground clearance is great for potholes, not for climbing real mountains. You step into the Mitsubishi Destinator and, surprise! Your eyes start working overtime before your body even gets to sit. It's a glow show in here. 2 digital displays, an 8-inch center touchscreen in a 12.3-inch digital cluster, plus 64-color ambient lighting that supposedly changes with your mood. Sad? Blue. Happy? Red. Ate garlic? The lights just give up. The cabin follows a tech meets luxury style. Piano-style buttons, a shifter as small as a USB stick, and faux carbon fiber trim. Thankfully, the layout isn't over-designed. It's balanced. Enough buttons to feel premium, but not so many that you need GPS just to find the AC. The seats? Comfortable enough to road trip across Luzon or Java. They're wrapped in synthetic leather, power adjustable in 6 directions, and the second row can slide forward. But beware, when you do slide it forward to access the third row, you'll discover the ancient truth all 7-seaters hide. Third row seating is a test of knee flexibility and patience. Seriously, if you're over 5'10", 178 centimeters, only sit in the third row if you're meditating or being punished. Still, kudos to Mitsubishi, they included rear AC vents and USB ports back there. It's like a budget hotel, cramped, but at least there's a fan and free instant noodles. Big bonus, cargo space. Fold the third row and you can fit full-sized luggage, a weekend's worth of groceries, or even a bonsai tree if you're heading to a temple fair. Quick interaction. Anyone ever tried folding a third row seat with one hand and nearly dislocated a shoulder? Comment below. The Destinator system is relatively light, but it's not exactly one-finger feng shui either. The interior is like a mid-range Android phone. Tons of features, looks great out of the box, and only after a few weeks do you find out which features actually matter. In summary, techy, spacious, sparkly, but trust us, keep it to 5 passengers unless you're filming a last one to leave the third row wins challenge.
At first glance, the Mitsubishi Destinator might give you déjà vu. Wait, why does this look familiar? Because it resembles an Outlander after hitting the gym and getting vacuum sealed head to toe. From the front, its updated dynamic shield grille does a fine job. Aggressive, sculpted, and most importantly, the kind that makes people unfamiliar with cars ask, "Hey, is this thing expensive?" LED T-shaped headlights sweep vertically like sharp eyebrows, paired with horizontal DRLs that give the face a serious expression. Serious like a straight-A student hiding candy bars in their backpack. From the side, a character line runs from nose to tail. It's an illusion trick, meant to make the body appear more muscular than it really is. The 18-inch wheels feel well-proportioned for a vehicle nearly 4.8 meters long. Around back, LED taillights and slightly bulky fender flares give the car a gym bro stance. One small detail: matte black fender trims. If you've watched previous Carcry videos, you might recall our comparison. It looks off-road ready, but still picks up your kids from school. That style returns here. It's not wrong, but calling it bold design might be a stretch. The good news, the styling isn't trying too hard. You won't need to squint and pretend there's a design language happening. Everything looks simple, functional, and refreshingly uncontroversial. In fashion terms, it's a neutral gray suit with black shoes and a closed collar. There's nothing to dislike, but not much you'll remember tomorrow either. And yes, a reminder from the last video, this is the production model, not a concept. What you see now is what you'll see in showrooms across Southeast Asia and the Middle East by the end of the year. No last-minute switcheroo, no LED deletes, no cassette deck replacing the screen. In summary, the design is like an IELT 7.0 essay. Clear, structured, solid, but not artistic enough to hit 8.5. Then again, sometimes 7.0 is exactly what real buyers want. Quick poll for the viewers. If you have $30,000, would you prefer this safe and confident design or the more dramatic flair of something like an orange Hyundai Creta? Drop your take in the comments, let Carcry know where design trends are heading.
When it comes to safety, the Mitsubishi Destinator drops a buffet list of features. Automatic emergency braking, AEB, blind spot warning, BSW, rear cross traffic alert, RCTA, adaptive cruise control, ACC, plus a 360-degree camera and 6 airbags. Sounds like a full package, but it's kind of like reading deluxe hot pot on a menu without knowing what's actually inside. So let's dig deeper. AEB is trendy these days, but not every car implements it well. Sometimes it reacts like a rookie martial artist, slamming the brakes whenever someone crosses by. If you've ever had your teeth rattle thanks to overreactive auto braking, raise your hand in the comments. Blind spot and rear cross alerts? Useful, unless you're one of those people who adjust your mirrors to see both the road and the sky. As for the 360-degree cam, don't expect eagle vision. It shows there's something, not what exactly.
But here's a plus. Mitsubishi doesn't clutter the system with half-baked gimmicks like road sign recognition that fails to read actual signs. Everything present here has a real use. Whether it's great or just okay depends on real-world testing. Adaptive cruise control is the standout feature. On highways, it holds distance well, no lurching or lag. But in city traffic, especially in Southeast Asian chaos, just take the wheel yourself. Not because it's bad, but because it still doesn't understand the logic of if it's crowded, squeeze in. Once squeezed, you yield. And finally, 6 airbags. Driver, passenger, sides, and curtains. Nothing more, nothing less. No costly add-ons required. Quick throwback, in our previous Carcry video, we mentioned that having ADAS in the production version was a good sign. Now we can confirm, no missing features and no Indonesian version versus Philippine version dilemma. The only test left is to check how smart the software actually is. Because even the most advanced system, if its logic is empty road means nap time, turns your car into a snooze machine. To wrap it up, the Destinator isn't lacking in safety. But whether it earns your trust enough to take your hands off the wheel for 2 seconds, that still needs real-world answers. If your heart races more from cruise control than it does from a crush texting you, this part was definitely for you.
Hearing a starting price under $30,000 makes your inner car enthusiast sit up straight. A 7-seater SUV, turbocharged engine, shiny interior, full ADAS suite. Sounds like heaven for budget-minded gearheads. But the timeless question remains, is it truly a steal or just cleverly cut to feel that way? Let's clarify. This estimated price is based on the Indonesian market, where the production version is already out. Converted, it's around $28,000 to $30,000, depending on trim. So if Mitsubishi USA or your local distributor plays fair, it could undercut even the top-trim Hyundai Alcazar, and with more catalog alphabet soup to show for it. But here's what viewers of Carcry know after a decade of budget car experience worldwide. Cheap never means free. For instance, no AWD. That's a cut. No HUD. Another cut. No ventilated seats. Cut again. LED taillights, but halogen indicators. You get the pattern. Mitsubishi gives you what's easy to spot, hides what you'll only notice after 6 months of driving. And let's not forget what the Destinator will face overseas. Reliable nameplates like the Honda CR-V, even if it's a 5+2 layout, or the Toyota Innova Hybrid, the go-to family car your accountant recommends. These models win trust, not Instagram polls. The Destinator is new, like can't pronounce it before it drives past you new. So this under $30K pricing could be a rocket launch or a nosedive, depending on how it's marketed and whether your region gets the full spec or the diet version. And now it's your turn. Tell us, have you ever bought a car thinking great deal, only to spend a fortune upgrading it later? Drop the name below so Carcry can crown the mod king of budget regret. Oh, and don't forget running costs. Turbo? Fun. CVT? Smooth. But a missed transmission oil change might just drain both your wallet and your will to live. Bottom line, under $30,000 can be a killer weapon, but as with all weapons, know where the handle ends and where the blade begins.
And now comes the final reflection. The moment we ask ourselves the age-old automotive question, should you wait for the Mitsubishi Destinator to hit your market or go for something already waiting in a dealership? First, let's be clear, for the third time just to be safe. The Mitsubishi Destinator has officially launched in Indonesia and is expected to arrive in key markets like the Philippines, Thailand, and even Latin America by the end of this year. No rumors, no prototypes, no flashy concepts with borrowed LED strips. It's real, with real specs, real seats, and yes, a real turbo. So, if you're someone who craves something fresh, willing to wait 4 to 5 months just to have people ask, wait, what car is that? Then the Destinator hits a sweet spot. A 7-seater SUV with high ground clearance, interior bright as a Broadway stage, priced competitively, and backed by the same brand that sold millions of expanders. Tasty, affordable, slightly adventurous.
But if you're in urgent need of a vehicle, maybe to drive your wife to the hospital, head home for Lunar New Year, or avoid hearing your father-in-law say, "Still taking Ubers?" Then be honest with yourself. Waiting another 5 months is an emotional gamble. If there's any production delay, you might spend the holidays riding third gear, literally. Hey Carcry community, sound off below. Are you in team, wait for the new ride, enjoy the new vibe? Or team, if it's in stock, it's in my garage? Your comment might just nudge Mitsubishi to speed up global rollouts. Who knows? And if you're not buying yet, but you're extremely curious, subscribe now. Carcry will be one of the first to test drive the production version globally and answer the ultimate question: will the international version be fully loaded or budget trimmed? Remember, the Destinator isn't for everyone. It's for those who prefer making bold moves quietly, those who choose turbocharged power without turning every red light into a race, those who buy new cars but don't need to flex it on TikTok, and most importantly, those who want to drive and still see the world through a panoramic sunroof. Thanks for staying till the end. See you on our test drive review soon. And don't forget, no AWD, no mountain roads. No mountain roads, no Colombian coffee view.